Hey guys, welcome back to Chit Chat with Chip. My Seni. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Good to see you. In this video, I just want to answer a question that I thought some people might have. And the question is, can you locum as a new graduate? In short, yes, but, and there's a big but, it's not as easy to locum as a new graduate in comparison to somebody who already has experience in the profession that they want to work in. So somebody who's got the experience, who's got the skills and has worked in, I'm talking about lab because I work in a lab obviously because I'm a biomedical scientist, but it's not as easy in comparison to someone who's got the skill set that is needed to fill the gap that their locum is looking for. Because you've got to remember, as a locum, they are basically filling a temporary position, a fixed position, a short-term position until they are back to how they need to be. That employer is just filling a temporary position basically. So you're there to fill in a gap that they have at that point in time. So that's why a lot of the time locum positions don't tend to be long-term positions. So they want somebody that will come in, fit right in, doesn't need a lot of training, so the training is quite minimal as a locum, so they expect you to be quite experienced as a locum. But the reason I said it's possible is because I have had experience of, in a previous post where I was a locum, a new graduate was appointed, but this was probably an exceptional circumstance because it was in a pandemic, it was COVID testing. COVID testing is quite easy to do, so this girl was just able to come in, get trained quite quickly, shown how to run the machines, how to run the analyzers, how to sort out the samples, etc., and get right into it. It wasn't something that needed a lot of skill or a lot of experience to do. If that was a situation where, if I'm going to use an example of what I do, so in microbiology where we analyze a lot of different samples, so we analyze urines, we analyze stool samples, we analyze blood samples, it takes a lot of experience and time to be trained to handle all those specimens and to also analyze and interpret the results. This is why I'm saying that it's not as easy as just coming in and doing it. What I would say that if you want to be a locum and you're a new graduate, the best thing to do is maybe to start off by gaining some experience, at least gain a year or two of experience before you consider doing locum, because your chances will be better. Whereas if you're quite new and you're going into a more specialized role, it will be quite difficult for you to get those locum positions, because they do state that they want somebody with experience. They do state that on the jobs that are being put out for locum roles. So that is something to take into consideration. It's not impossible, but it's not the easiest. One thing that I forgot to mention is that the level of pay that you get as a locum will depend on your level of experience. So if you're somebody who's very highly experienced, you should expect to get paid a little bit more than somebody who's less experienced. So it will depend on your grade, your level, your skills, and also your banding. If, for example, you work in the NHS, so that is something to take into consideration, that you won't be paid. So for example, if you're band 5 in the NHS, you won't be paid the same as a band 6 in the NHS. Most likely not anyway, because different levels, different skill sets, different expertise basically. I expect that different professions will also be the same. So that's something to take into consideration if you are considering working as a locum. I use medical doctors as an example. So SHOs will get paid less than, for example, a consultant who can be on like £100 an hour, when an SHO will be on like £40 an hour. It will vary quite a bit. As a biomedical scientist, you can expect to get paid anything from like £20 an hour if you are a band 5 to 6, £20 an hour to say £34-35 an hour, depending where in the country that you're working. So it does vary so much, but that is something to take in consideration and have a look at when you're applying to become a locum. I must also mention that you can also locum as a locum MLA, which is a medical lab assistant or biomedical support worker, as well as an associate practitioner. So it's not only limited to biomedical scientists. So if that is something that you want to look at in the future, there's definitely the potential to do that. So don't feel like being a locum is only for biomedical scientists. And obviously there will be a lot of variation, for example, in the pay for biomedical scientists, depending on if you work in biochemistry or if you work in microbiology, or if you work in histology. The different disciplines will require different types of work, so they may pay differently as well. I am specifically specialized in microbiology, so most of the information that I can give is based from a microbiology perspective. One thing that I do have to emphasize is the fact that experience is key when you want to locum. Most people will ask for postgraduate experience, and this can be 1 to 2 years. So I would definitely say build up your experience and you can locum. In the climate that we're in now, I know that there's a lot of positions available for locums at all different levels and in different disciplines. And when I say levels, I mean in different bandings, such as band 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 and to 7, just because there's a strong demand for people of our profession. But anyway, I hope that was helpful for you guys, and please let me know in the comments if there was anything that you find specifically interesting, and if there's other locum professionals from other professions that I may not necessarily have a lot of information on. Please comment down in the comments below and just correct me if there's anything that I have said that may not be necessarily 100% correct. But thank you so much for listening and for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video.